Hey everyone, good evening
Hello
everyone.
everyone, good
Hello.
evening.
Hi Vasu.
Hey guys, can we just get some quick highs from whoever is there?
Yeah,
Jagadish, Vasu. Hi Shashank. Hi
hi
Srilekha.
Srilekha.
Hi, 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 hi.
Oh, Sailaja, Srijana, Dinesh. Rhyming lo bettarappa.
Ganesh.
Hmm?
Ganesh, Vinesh.
Hello, Sai Krishna, Renu,
Hello
Srilekha.
Rohini. Venkata Akhil. Hi.
Let's wait for all others to join till we'll
Yeah,
just start comment.
we'll wait for a while and we'll begin the session.
At sharp 7:05 we'll start the session guys. Hey Vinita.
Hi Tejita.
Guys, 64 people are on the session, right? Like we got some highs.
Okay, so before others join, can these 64 people tell us that should we continue our session in English or Telugu? Because in yesterday's feedback that we got, a few of us
Hmm.
told us to continue the session in Telugu also. So should we just mix up English and Telugu and speak?
English. We'll go with English. Like we'll
Shall,
slide
shall we
here.
go with English?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
slide here and here.
English.
English. Hashtag English. Hashtag English.
Thanks, Karthik.
Thank you, Karthik. English, okay.
English, English, English. Anything would be
Anything would be
Anything
fine.
would be
fine.
fine.
Okay, both. Hmm.
Intel, okay.
Intel.
Intel.
Nice.
We
I
got
got some
another term.
another
Intel.
answer. Yeah.
Hashtag anything.
So majority of people are
English.
speaking
Okay.
English.
Yep. We'll use both the languages. We'll try to
First,
use the
for
mother
understanding.
tongue whenever we feel to make you comfortable with the concept when it's difficult or something like that.
Crazy Kunal, with which language your friends are not comfortable? Telugu or English?
He's much worried about his friends.
Friends, yeah.
If any one of your friends register for coders, assemble, share the link with your friends, so they will also start listening the session.
Yeah.
Telugu, okay. Then we'll try to continue in English as much as
Yeah,
possible.
we'll wait for 1 more minute.
Mhm. We got a thumbs up, two thumbs ups.
Next, we will get Red Bull.
Oh, Tamil.
Anyone Tamil here?
Then Sai
No, sorry, bro. We don't we don't know Tamil.
Telugu English.
It's like
Another
British.
term, Telugu English. Hi, Sharon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's time for us to get
Thank
started
you.
at 7:05. So let me just start with today's introduction. So hello everyone, I'm Manish Vasam, pursuing my bachelor's in artificial intelligence at Anurag University, and I'm into my third year. And as you all know, or those who were in the yesterday's session, or those for all those who are new today, this is an initiative called Coders Assemble by CodingCubs, which is a coding club of Anurag University. This is for all the coders and non-coders for making them much proficient in the technologies, and by training them with starting from the basic coding languages until some good technologies like web development, Flutter development, and all. So this is in this phase one. We have started teaching C and Python on every Friday and Saturday. Yesterday it was C session that went really well, and we have got some amazing audience yesterday. And every Friday that will be continued for 6 weeks from yesterday onwards. And from today we are going to start Python. So it's day one for Python, and from now until 6 weeks, we'll be teaching you Python every Saturday from 7 to 8:30 p.m., which will cost you just 90 minutes, and we promise you to make it much effective and more productive for you. And as I previously mentioned, this is the phase one, and we are going to have phase two where we'll be taking up sessions on Flutter development, game development, and all. So, as I can promise you just one thing, that you're going to have fun while learning within less time. That's it from my end. I think other mentors who are on the stream can proceed with their learning part, teaching part.
Yeah, before getting into the session, like a lot of people are new to the session, right? The club, like it is a platform for all the coders and non-coders. When you observe the club logo, it says coding cubs. Those are the babies who want to learn coding in initial stages. And the slogan says, we don't code here. Like those who don't know programming, it understand like we don't code here. We teach like non-coding, like technical stuff for those non-coders and coders. Those who know coding, not the symbol exclamation mark is equal to no, which means we do code here. So it's like a door for two-way, either for technical guys and non-technical guys, where you can communicate, where you can learn, and where you can engage. And I think mentors can start their sessions. Vinita.
Before getting started, I just want to add a point here. You can find all our communities, Instagram, LinkedIn, Telegram, and our mail below in the description. So if you are interested in joining our communities, please go check there and join our communities. That's it.
And before getting started, it's a one-way communication. So grab a notebook or any notepad and write down the concepts, key points. Okay. If there's any doubt, you can ask it in the end. Thank you. Vinita, please take over.
Yes, Karthik. So hello guys, welcome to the first day session of Python programming series. So before getting into Python programming, let's understand what programming is. So programming is basically communicating with the computer, because computer cannot understand our everyday language. If I say a computer, hi, hello computer, how are you, it won't understand. What computer basically understands is bit language. It only understands 0 1 0 1. So with the help of programming, we convert our everyday language into binary language, and then make the computer understand. So Python is high level programming language that is very easy to learn for us. And there are multiple applications of Python programming. You can find a vast application of Python in machine learning and all its subsets. All its subsets include deep learning, NLP, computer vision. In all these stuff, we will be using Python. So Python is like very important for you to learn. So before getting into Python and the concepts of Python, I want you to know what a variable is, and what are a few rules that you should know in order to declare a variable. So I'll just share my screen. Karthik, that is the later part. One second. Okay, so I hope the compiler is visible to all of you. Okay, so I already have a hello world program here. So this is how a print statement works in Python, guys. In C language, you'll have printf, and you'll also have some semicolons. And apart from that, you'll also have a main function and a few flower braces up and below. You'll have a return if it is returning something or not. If it's not returning, you'll have a void. But in Python, it's just simple. You'll not have all this flower based braces and all. It's just a single line to print a statement like that. So this is the output for hello world. And coming to the variables that I was talking, there are a few rules in order to declare a variable. uh, it cannot start with a number, and a variable can include characters. It can include both uppercase and lowercase digits. It can include underscores and digits, but it shouldn't start with a digit. So, for example, I'll just say var equal to 3, equal to 4. Okay, and I can just print that variable itself. Okay, and this will return me 4. Right, in C language, what you have to do, you will have to put a format specifier here, like percentile d if it's an integer, percentile s if it's a string, percentile if it's a float. But in Python you don't have to do the same. Variable can be used for a float value also. If I say 4.8 and I'll say print var, then 4.8 will be printed, so I don't need a format specifier in Python. So variables and printing of variables is just that simple in Python. So coming to the data types. Yeah. So coming to the data types in Python, there are two types of data types, just like C, built-in data types and user-defined data types. So getting into the built-in data type. So these are the different built-in data types that we have in Python: none type, numeric type, sequences, sets, and mappings. Each of that will be discussed in detail in this session. And then we have user-defined data types like class and modules. Um, Ritishka Reddy, please check your internet connection because I'm sure it is clear. And then coming in detail with each of the data type. So the first one is none type. So none type represents an object that doesn't contain any value. If I don't want to give a variable any value for some reason, so that I can update that variable with another value later, then I can start off by declaring or initiating that variable with a none type. So that is what a none type does. And then numeric type. Under numeric type or number, we have three subtopics again, that is int, float, and complex. So these are the three data types. So coming to the int data type, it's very much similar to the int data type that we have in C language. But in Python, we don't really have to use the int keyword to mention that it is an integer. So let's just go through the points. The int data type represents an integer number, as we know, and an integer number without any decimal point or a fraction point. We are very well aware that if a number contains a floating point or a decimal point, it's known as a floating variable. It is not an integer. Okay. So that's with the integer. Here are a few examples. It can be both positive and a negative, and there's no limit for the size, unlike in C for Python. So the examples are 20, 10, minus 50, and it's so that is what we're trying to tell here is that there's no range or a range limit for integer. It can be both positive and negative. So these are the points that you have to remember for an integer. Now, getting to float. So a floating point number, unlike integer, can even take decimal points. So examples for that are 25.56 or 10.5. It can also be a negative number, a negative floating point. And here, you can find something called value here, right? So it is 5.1 E5. So many a times when you're dealing with complex mathematical problems, you'll have to use 10 power 5. You have to multiply the number 10 power 5. So in that case, you can use this 5.1 E5 if you want to make it a number that is 5.1 into 10 power 5. Please note down this so that it'll be easy for you. Now, coming to the complex number. A complex number is something that I'm sure most of you have not seen in C. But then in Python, you can have a complex number that is only in the form of a plus b, small j, or capital J. This is really important, guys. You cannot use a plus bi or a plus bk or any other alphabet in place of j. Only j must be used. So where, because a plus bj is a complex number, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. So a plus bj is a complex number. A will be the real part of that, and b will be the imaginary part of that, right? So let me just share the compiler so that I'll show you how it runs. Okay. So I have my variable as suppose 4 plus 3j. Okay. And I want to print only the real part of that. So I'll just say print v dot real, var dot real. So I'll just get 4.0. I think you're able to see the output, or I'll just make it even more. So this is what my code was, and the output is 4.0. This is the real part. And if I want the complex, I mean, what do I say? The three, what do you call that? An imaginary part, because 4 is the real part, 3 is the imaginary part. So I'll just say imag for that. And I'll get 3.0. So what we've discussed until now is that to get the real part of a complex number and also to get the imaginary part of a complex number. Okay. Now, there's something else that most of us deal while using this mathematical expression is the conjugate part, right? If 4 plus 3j is given, and I want to get the conjugate of that, which is 4 minus 3j. So even for that, we can use this var dot conjugate. If I run this, I'm just getting, see, I'll get 4, which is the real part, 3, that is the imaginary part, and 4 minus 3j, that is the conjugate. Because whatever I've given was 4 plus 3j, the conjugate of that will be 4 minus 3j. So this is about complex numbers. Next. I'm sure you've understood complex numbers. If you did not understand, please put it in the comment section. Coming to the next type. It's Boolean type. I'm sure most of you already know what a Boolean type is. True or false. True value resembles the 1 value and false represents 0. If a statement, if I say a statement, suppose 2 is an even number, that is true. So it will return true and the value of true will be 1 and the value of false will be 0. So the same thing, what they're trying to show here is that true plus true, if you give, if you suppose you execute the statement, say print of true plus true, then it will return you the value 2 because the value of true is 1 and you're adding another true value to that. So 1 plus 1 will result in 2. And next, what they've done here, since the value of false is 0, so true minus false, that is 1 minus 0 will return 1. What is false? That is what I'm saying. So false value is 0 and true value is 1. Yeah, done. So coming to the sequence types, there are 4 types of sequences: string, list, tuple, and range. So coming to the string, yeah. So coming to the string sequence type, string is nothing but a group of characters similar to your C. But then what is different from your C and C to Python is that in C you should only declare your string with double quotes and a character with a single quote. But in Python you do not have a character. You do not have a character data type. Only you have string data type. So the string data type can be enclosed within double quotes or single quotes. So here you can see some of the examples also, where hello is declared with with double quotes, and Rahul is declared with a single quote. So both of them will return the string data type. Now, coming to a list. So a list is a group of elements. For suppose it is very similar to the list that we make in our real life. Suppose I want to go to a supermarket. So before going to the supermarket, we generally make a list, right? We make a list of different things. We don't limit it to a single type. For suppose I want to buy soaps or something, then only then you will include different types of soaps in that, or else for the regular stuff that we require in our home, we use soaps, we use puja oil, or we use what can I say, decorative items, or there are a lot of things, and all don't have a connection with each other. all of them are of different types. So even in list, we have a collection of different data types. Like we can include int also, we can include string, we can include complex number, we can include a float, any value. So list, yeah. So lists are dynamic. This is another point coming to list. Lists are mutable. That what mutable means is that you can change the values. You can access the value of a list and change the value of a list. Suppose I want to, here I have my data as 10, 20, minus 50, 21.3, and welcome. I want to change 10 to 1. So I can just access it as data of 0. Okay, so data of 0 equal to 1. If I just make that, then this value will be changed to 1. This would be 20 minus 50. All of that would be same. Only this would change to 1. So lists are mutable. You can change that. And another important point is that you have to declare your lists only with the help of square brackets. You cannot use your parentheses or curly braces. Each of those braces have a meaning, so you can't mix and match with the braces anywhere. List for list, you have to strictly use square brackets. You cannot use parentheses or flower braces. Next, moving to tuples. Okay, a tuple contains a group of elements which can be different data types. That is similar to lists. Okay. Uh, yeah, it is similar to list, but tuples are immutable. That is, you cannot change the elements of the tuple. You can access the elements of a tuple. You can delete the entire tuple, but you cannot what do I say, modify the elements of a tuple. Similarly, compared to lists, in lists I just said that you can take an element and you can change the element, right? If I can access the 0th index element, and I can also change that element. But in tuple, I cannot change the element. So here you can see the example. The data, again, it takes variety of data. There's no restriction for that. The only difference is that it is immutable, whereas lists are mutable. Now, coming to range. Range is something that we'll use a lot. We'll use a lot of range word in our for loops or while loops. We'll use this in almost every problem that we solve. So range represents a sequence of numbers. Suppose that I have range of 5. So what exactly range of 5 means? It means all the numbers that range from 0 to 4. That is 0 to the number that you've given minus 1. Because I've given range of 5, it would mean 0 to 5 minus 1. That is 0 to 4. So what all numbers would be there? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all of that would be 5 numbers. Now, another example is that range of 10, 22. So what exactly 10, 22 mean here is that I'm telling that my starting index must be 10, my ending index must be 20, and the step function must be 2. That is 10. After 10, what comes after 2 steps is that 12. So again, after 12, the 2 steps next to 12 will be 14. Again, 2 steps next to 14 will be 16. 2 steps next to 18, 2 steps next to 16 would be 18, and 2 steps next to 18 would be 20, but then 20 is the range that is given. Had I given 10, 21 and 2, then 20 would have also come here, because we've given only 20 there. Because we've given only 20 there, we are ending it only with 18. This is with the range. We'll discuss all of this in brief using the compiler again. Coming to the next one. Set type. A set is an unordered collection of elements. The reason it is set unordered is because suppose if I declare a set as 1, 2, 3, 4 and I try to print that set, then it wouldn't return me 1, 2, 3, 4. It can return me any number. It can return me 4, 3, 2, 1 or 4, 1, 2, 3, anything, but it won't give me in order. It might or might not give an order. That is the reason set is said to be an unordered collection of elements. Next, The order of elements is not maintained. That is what I told you. And then a set does not accept duplicates. This is something that is really a plus point of set that we can say, because most of the problems that will solve will include removing duplicates, right? So when you have to remove duplicates from a list or something, what you can basically do is convert that list to a set. And since set wouldn't take any duplicate elements, all the duplicate elements will be removed from the set, and this set can again be converted to a list. So now you have a list without duplicate elements. So set is a very helpful thing when you want to remove duplicate elements. And one more thing is that even sets are immutable. So what all we've discussed until now, we've discussed about lists, tuples, and now set, where lists are mutable. You can access them, you can change them. Tuples can be accessed, but they cannot be changed. Sets again, they can be accessed, but they cannot be changed. So both sets and tuples are immutable. Now, so sets have to be declared within flower braces. Previous to this, as we've seen in tuples, tuples must be declared only with your parentheses. List must be declared with square brackets, and your sets must be declared with flower braces. So make a note of all the braces that are used for a different data type, because if you just try to declare a list with a flower base brace, it wouldn't be a list anymore because you're declaring a set. So make sure that you don't mix and match your braces. Next, coming to a dictionary. Dictionary is nothing but it's a collection of elements with both key and a value. Okay. So for suppose I have my data here, that is a dictionary that contains 101 Rahul. So 101 Rahul is one element where 101 is the key and Rahul is the value of 101. So if I want to access Rahul, what I can say is that Dept of 101, if I say, then it would print me Rahul. Or if I also say D of 102, then it will print Raj. Again, if I say data of 103, it will print me Sonam. Whereas coming to this one, don't always be in assumption that whenever you have a number, it is a key. No, whatever is on the left side will be your key, and whatever will be on the right side will be its value. So now here, Rahul is the key. So if I say data of Rahul, I would get 2000. Yeah, this is more clear over here. So data of Raj is 3000 and data of Sonam will be 8000. So all of these are keys and all of these are values. And here all of these are keys and all of this Rahul, Raj, Sonam are the values. And next, coming to the character. There's no character in Python, as I mentioned before. Only strings are present in Python. Again, needless to say that you can, declare your strings or characters or anything with either of the single quotations or double quotations. Now let's just move to the interpreter so that it's even more clear for you. Before I do that, we've discussed about
We have some
complex, right,
questions in
until
the
now.
chat section.
Okay.
We have some questions in the chat section. Please look into it.
Shrujana, I didn't get your question. Difference to use single and double quotes. Okay. And then what is a duplicate number? Suppose your list contains numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. There are no duplicates in your list. But if your list contains 1, comma 1, comma 1, comma 2, comma 3, then you have duplicates of 1, right? So in that case, you can't solve a problem because your 1 is again repeating 2 times. In that case, you have to remove your duplicate numbers and make the 1, 1, 1, 2, 3 list into 1, 2, 3. So in order to make that, you can use your set. So that is what I was trying to tell. Where we have to use, again, I didn't get you. Can we use duplicates in lists and tuples? It's not about using Harshit. If you have duplicates in your list and tuples, by converting your list or tuples into sets, you can remove those duplicates. Can you overview once again? Yes, Aravind. I'll just do that with the help of the compiler once. Um, where to use single quotes and where to use double quotes. You can use any quote, Shirisha. For a character, you can use a double quote or a single quote. For a string, you can use a double quote or a single quote. There's no problem in Python because both of them will be a string only. There's no character in Python. Tuple is mutable or immutable. Tarun, it is immutable. You cannot change the value of a tuple. You can access the values or delete the tuple on a whole. So I'll just share the screen of the compiler. Okay. So suppose I have my, okay, let's just not take a list because that's a keyword. I'm just taking L and I'm declaring a list like 1, comma, what should I say? Is comma 3.4. Okay. So this is my list now. Okay. Suppose I want to change my first value. So the index of the list will always start from 0, guys. So the index of 1 will be 0, index of is will be 1, index of 3.4 will be 2, index of 97 will be 3. So I'll just say, let me just print first so that you'll have a clear idea. I'll just say print L of 0. It is printing 1. Right? Because at the 0th index in list, I'm having 1. The same way, if I want to change the value, I'm just saying L of 0, నాకు 1 వద్దు నాకు 10 కావాలి అనుకో. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm updating 1 to 10. Now if I print my L on a whole, I'll get 10 is 3.4 and 97. So what happened here? So the 1 value has updated to 10, but this doesn't happen in your tuple or set. And then another point was on strings, right? So suppose I have s is equal to 5. Okay, this is generally said to be a character in C, right? But if I just try to print the type of s, I'll just say print a type of s, then this would return me string. You see that? So even if you're giving a character, okay, let me just put single quotes. Again, you might be confused with that learning of C, even though it would return me a string because there's no character in Python. And if you give any other big string also, it will obviously return you a string. That was about strings. And lists also was discussed. Tuple. So suppose I have T and I have values like 1, 8.9, and then I have comma 98. Okay, suppose this is my tuple. So print of T I'm doing. So what this would do, this would print my tuple on whole. Okay, I'm getting my entire tuple. If I say print T of 3, it's giving me 98 because 0, 1, 2, 3. In the third index, I have 98. So it is returning me 98. Now, if I try to change the value to something like this, and here if I execute print statement, see, it's showing me an error. tuple object does not support item assignment. That is, you cannot change values in your tuple. So that is the reason I told you tuples are immutable. So let me just write lists are mutable. Okay, tuples and sets. Okay, so tuples and sets are immutable. Okay, make a note of this. And another point is that your lists are ordered. Okay, they are ordered. Your tuples are ordered again because they'll be printed in the same order that you've declared. I've declared 1, 8.9 and all this in the same order that got printed over here. So tuples are ordered, but they are immutable. Sets are immutable and they're unordered too. Okay, so basically your lists and tuples are like good people who are in order, and list can be changed, tuple cannot be changed. It's a bit ziddy, so it doesn't want to change, so it won't change. Your tuple won't change at all. Whereas your list elements can be changed, sets can neither be changed, neither they'll be printed in your order. So let us just check that with an example. So what is the difference? That you should only put your flower braces, and I'll just print T over here, the set T. So you can see it's not printed in order, right? I gave T is equal to 1, 8.9, T by RD, 98. And the order in which it got printed was 8.9, 1, 98, T by RD. Then it's in order low, I'll print అవ్వలేదు. So that is the reason sets are called unordered. I hope it is clear. Uh, do we get tuple always in order? Yes, Krishna, you will always get tuples in order. Tuples are ordered. And how to convert tuple to list? I'll just show you that. Suppose this is my tuple now. What I'll just say is L is equal to L of T. And I'll just print L. Oh, sorry, this will be list. So list is a keyword. In the same way, you'll have a tuple keyword and you'll have a set keyword. So in tuple item, it got printed as a list. List is nothing but something the same order of the elements that I've given in a square brace. Again, if I want to print that as a set, I'll use the set keyword. Again, set unordered elements in flower braces. So that's how I convert from one type to another type. Difference between list and tuple. Yes, Akshita. So that is what I was telling. Lists are mutable, tuples are immutable, and both list and tuples are ordered. So the basic difference between list and tuple is that in list, the elements can be accessed and changed. In tuples, you can only access the elements. How to convert tuple to list? Bhavana, I think I've just explained you that. Can we change tuple to set? Yeah, we can do that. I showed you that just now. This is a tuple and then just set of T. So it got converted to a set. Next, can we change tuple to set? Yeah, we can. I just showed you how to do that. So that's how you convert a tuple to a set. Any more questions, guys? Are dictionaries mutable and ordered? Yeah, they are ordered. Let me just show you. Suppose I say 1, I say ABC, and I'll say 2, and I'll say, okay. And I'll just say print 3. So it got printed in the same order that I gave, right? What I can also say is that I can say print T of 1. So if I say print T of 1, what will be the output? I want you guys to guess before it get executes. Come on, guys. I'm not getting any answers. My question was, if I give t of 1, what would the answer be? Two? No, it won't be 2. It'll be ABC, because I'm giving a key here, and I already told you that we can access the values with only with the help of keys. So if I give t of 1, it will print ABC. Do not get confused with the indexing concept here. Only that indexing concept is limited to your lists, tuples, and sets, not to your dictionaries. In dictionaries, you can only access your value pairs with key. Okay, do not get confused. Yeah, ABC. Now I'm getting answers. Yeah, so that was about your dictionaries. And any more questions? Def will be explained in your functions concept. That will be tomorrow. Def is a keyword. I mean, yeah, that you'll use to define your function. So that will be discussed tomorrow. Come on, guys! If you have any more questions, we can just deal with that. Yes, Karthik. Did I miss any questions?
You covered every question.
Okay, cool. Okay, guys, so that was about data types. Again, in between, if you have any more questions, you can ask me. Karthik, it's to you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, we have discussed like what is Python, like introduction to data types. Now we have NeoCub who is gonna explain like what are the operators and how you can work with operators. Dheeraj, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Please take over.
Thank you, Karthik. Hello, everyone. I'm here to explain about operators in Python. And
Dheeraj, sorry for
will
interrupting. Guys, before getting into Dheeraj concepts, do you understand the topics till Vinitha has covered right now? Till till the topics Vinitha has covered. Type S in the chat.
Guys, one more thing I want to say is that your list, tuple, and sets will be discussed in detail, like all the functions and all the operations that you can perform on list, tuples, and sets will be discussed in detail in the later sessions. For now, I just want you to understand what a list is, what a tuple is, what a set is. That's it. Good.
Yes. Yeah, I can say a good number of counts. Yeah, Dheeraj, take over. Thank you.
thank you. I'm here to explain about the operators that are in C. Some are already introduced in C, but I'm gonna introduce some more, which would and how we use them in Python. 1 minute. Let me share my PPT. So, first, let me tell me what is an expression. Expression is something like this. In Python, everything is an object. X int. We are not any giving any data specifier, so we do it as in this. So here, x and y are the operands, whereas a plus is equals to sign are known as the operators, where they manipulate the value or the data inside the object. So there are many type of operators in Python. Some are arithmetic operators, conditional operators, assignment operators, logical operators, unary operators, binary, membership, and unity operators. We'll get into detail into them one by one. First, what is an arithmetic operator? Arithmetic operator is just an operator where it manipulates the value of two operands. Uh, Let us take an example of A plus B, where A has a value of 10 and B has a value of 20. It will give you 30, where plus adds the two values, minus subtracts two values. Multiplication is done by and star, and slash gives us the quotient of the division, and where a percentile gives us the remainder of the two values, whereas exponent is done by two stars, for a to the power of b, 2 to the power of 3. And float division is a kind of division where two numbers are divided. If we get a float number, it would be minimized to the only integer part. So this is called as an arithmetic operator. Example, let me share the example. X is 10, y is 5. If we print x plus 5, it would be 15, right? X minus y, it would be 5. X into 5, 50. 10 divided by 5, it would be 2. uh, just like that, I'm gonna show this into a compiler. So as same as that, we have an our hello world program here. So let us take x is equals to let us take 40, y is equals to let us take 15. So using the
Dheeraj,
basic,
can you make the font little bigger? Zoom it. Control please. Yeah.
is it okay?
Yeah, fine, Dheeraj. Continue.
So when we press x plus 1 y and run it, we'd get 55, because 40 plus 15 gives us 55. Just like that, if we go on with the other operators, uh, x minus y, x into y. See, it gives us the, it helps us in the value manipulation of data. So next, coming to the comparison operators. Comparison operators are used to compare two operands. Example, is the actual equals to sign, which are used to check whether two operands of values are equal or not. Example, we have an operand x of value 10 and operand y of value 10. To check whether they both are equal or not, we use the double equals to sign, where if it's true, it will give us the, if it's true, it will give us back the value of 1, which is also true. If it's not, it will get the value of 0, which is false. Next, exclamatory mark equals to is used to check whether the two values are not equal. Is a not equal to sign in Python, where less than symbol and greater than symbol is also used as a double equals to symbol to check whether two operands are equal or not. Less than, greater than, less than or greater than, etc, etc. Let me give another example using the code. Let us see. Let us assume x is equals to 10 and y is equals to 12. Uh, we as a human we could see whether the y has a greater value than 10, but to the computer to know, we use a comparison operator. We use it like this, pri and so what are we gonna prove is y is greater than x, right? Would be
Dheeraj, can you zoom it little bigger?
1 minute.
Like it's unable to see on mobile.
Now
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
the fuck. Uh, so 1 minute. So first let us check if y is equal to x or not. So we'll check it by x. Sorry, I'm just having a difficulty here. So for us to check, it is something like this. Mike is of age maybe 18, right? So if Mike is age of 18, if we use an comparison operator like this, if Mike's age is greater than 18, he would be allowed to vote, something like that. So yeah, see this. The equals to sign says that he can vote. So coming to next. If it's true, and it will give us a value of that he can vote or not, and the less than symbol is shows that he could not vote. Next, coming to assignment operator. Assignment operator are simple operators where two operands are linked with another two operands with a in using two operators. Example is equals to just assigns operator. Example, it's a simple assignment operator. We use an operator x is equals to 10, where 10, the value 10 is assigned to the value x. Is equals to operator c is equals to a plus b. A plus b, let us take the value of a is equals to 10, b is equals to 20. 10 plus 20, 30 value that is first evaluated, then assigned to the operand c here. Just like that, plus is equals to is other assignment operator where it is just if c plus is equals to a or is equals to 10, where the value is just the same as c is equals to c plus a. We would have a doubt that c is repeated twice and we would get an error, but it's a false assumption where c here first would be evaluated with a. Example, let the initial c value be 1 and the a value be 10. The first after initializing c is equals to 1 and a is equals to 10, when c plus is equals to a is assigned, c is equals to 1 plus 10 is done, first evaluated, then given to the value c. Just like that, minus is equals to multiplication is equals to divide is equals to modulus is equal to does the same things. Next, logical operator. We all know, are familiar with the we all are excuse me we all are familiar with the law, the good old and, or, and not. And is where two numbers are compared, 1 and 0. If both are, if any one is true, it gives us a value of true. Just if both are true, then it's true, or if both any one is true, then it's false. Whereas not operator, if any one is false, it is a false. Just like here, and is a logical operator. If both operators are true, then the condition becomes true. And or operator, it when the if one of the operands is an if one of the operands is true, then the complete expression would be true. Whereas not, it is a logical state where the condition is true or not. Example, not of a, if the value of a is 1 or any value, then the not of a would be a 0, because any value would give the answer of true. So if we give not of a which is equal to 0, then we'll get the value of true, which is 1. Unary operator. Unary operator are a special operators where we can find them only in the Python. Unary operator act as single operands. Example, b is equals to 10, and to change the value to an integer of negative integer, a is equals to minus b, and then we print a. This is the main purpose of unary operator. We are able to manipulate the single operands, is called as a unary operator. Bitwise operator. Bitwise operators are used to manipulate the data in an basic binary level. A computer just understands ones and zeros. So the manipulating of data in binary level, we use bitwise operators. Bitwise operators such as and, or, etc. And just like that, binary and copies, and the resultant exists between two operators. Example, if the value a has a value of 0101 and b has a value of 1010, then the result of an and would be something like, if one of them both of them are true, then it gives a value of true. As both values are opposite, the whole value would be a 0. Just like and, binary and, binary or with a single slash. XOR is just an expression used, which are we are familiar term would be if and only if. If and only if is just an copy of will be XOR. Copy is the bit. It is a set of operand which replies compares the two operands in such a way that 0 would be 0 and 1 would be a 0. Any other value containing a 1 would be also true. Negation. Negation operator is a special operator where if a value has a value of 1 and the negation operator gives us the opposite of the value given. Example, if the value an operand contains 1 and the negation of a would be something like a 0, just like that. Next, bitwise operators are also extended as shift operators. Shift operators also are a member of bitwise operators. They are used for shifting the value. Just imagine a cylinder of two openings where it contains four balls in each cylinder. Whereas shift left, when shift left operator is used to move the operands by adding new zeros and ones into the operand. Example, when it's a shift left container, the values are added from the left. If example, just in the slide, a shift 2, if the value of shift value of a would be 1 comma 1 comma 1 comma 1, then shift 2 zeros would be will be adding 2 zeros from the left side of the part. And just like that, from the right, if we add the same values from the right, it would be a binary right shift. Membership operator. Membership operators are used basically to evaluate if the term is present in the expression or not. Example, expression or an operand or not. Example, we just learn about less than tuples, right? If x is equals to of an array of tuple of a b c d, and we need to check if the word operand element b is present in that or not. So how we're gonna do is print if uh, if it is present in that tuple or not. If we would like expression, the name of the tuple x, x a is in x or not. In is used to whether if it's there, it will send us the value of true, and if it's not, it will give us the value of false. Whereas not in is also is just opposite of in, where uh, the value is present in the tuple or not, just like that. And it if it's not, it gives a value of true, and if it's there, and it gives a value of false. It's just opposites. Identity operator is just used for is or not, is not. We'll check it as if x is equals to 10 and y is equals to 10. And if x is equals to y, we'll check it if x we check is x equal to y by print x is y or not. If it says it returns a value of true. If it's not, it returns a value of false. Just like that, identity expressions has the opposite is not. It's just the opposite of is, same as that. And the identity express where two operands, if they are not equal 10 or then it returns a value of true, or if not, it returns a value of false. Well, my last topic would be operator precedence, whereas operators in just like board mass rule, where brackets come first, multiplication, then etc. Right? Even Python has some, precedence or importance to some of them, uh, where double exponential comes at the highest, then negation, then flooring, then plus or minus, then shift right and shift left, bitwise and bitwise operators, then comparison operators. At last, it would be a logical operators. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dheeraj. 1 second, let me start. Sorry. There are some questions from audience. Yeah, it's clear. Yeah, guys, we have discussed like types of operator, like types of different types of arithmetic operators, identify operators, membership operators, and how does each operator works, and how does each operator for functions. And if the topics, the concept is clear, type S in the chat box. We'll move on to next concepts. Input and decision statements by Anish. Type S in the chat box if the concepts are clear. We'll move on to next topic, guys. We need to complete the session in 90 minutes because we schedule the session for 90 minutes each and every week. Bro, can we have a full-fledged explanation by evaluating expression of precedence? This is just first introduction to Python. In this course, we are just giving the some sort of introduction, like how can you start your journey with Python, like knowing the basic concept, basic keywords, basic function words in the Python. We'll see each and every topic in depth. We have 5 more sessions, we'll see in that. If statement and conditions bit unclear. Dheeraj, are you here?
Yeah,
If statements and condition statements are bit unclear, by Tushar, could you explain it once again? Could you repeat it once again
yeah, 1 minute.
in simple and brief? Like we are running out of time.
Yeah, if and else are just a decision statements where if is used when if is given with a condition. If they satisfy the condition, the input inside code would be print, or else, and else isn't just another decision if the else fails. So it is a basic if decision making operator.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dheeraj. Anish. Yeah, Anish.
Hi. Yeah.
Hi guys, here is Anish from Coding Club. He's a pro cup of Coding Club, and he's going to take the concept of input and decision statements. And Anish, please take over. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. As we seen now, I'm gonna talk about input and output statements. Um, Wait a second. Let me share my presentation because that won't be important for this session. But let's just do that. Yeah. I think everyone can see it now. So today I'm going to talk about input and output statements in Python. Actually, these topics are actually like mostly covered by the previous mentors, all the print statements and everything. But I'm going to go in detail all about that. So first we'll go see about like print function, which is an output statement. So print function, it's like same in the C language. If you have covered like printf function, like it displays what you want on the screen, and different from the syntax is different from printf function from C, because like here we have a separator and an end thing and a file one. So let me just open the compiler and show you, because like in this mainly the compiler is most important, because like let me okay, let's see what do I have? Okay, I'll print something like coding curves. So I'm gonna run this thing. So it's like coding cups, like it's a same thing as like printf function, or it's simple actually. There is no semicolon and everything, but if you want you don't have to write the format specifiers, mention the format specifiers in the print function to print the numbers and everything. We used to mention that in C, so we can directly display like print of 1, then we'll get the value 1. Okay, and everything. So we'll take an object like a variable, a is equals to 5 and b is equals to 6 and everything. So I'll now I'm gonna talk about mention about the end parameter in the print function. So let's see that. First we'll print an a. Let's see what we'll get. It's like we are getting 5. So now I'm gonna print another b value directly with the object. And I forgot to mention, we can directly give the object name or the variable name inside the print without any thing. Like it will directly print it out, or whatever it may be a list, it may be a tuple and everything. The flexibility in Python is this thing. We can print the statements of the objects or variables, anything directly here. If you want to mention an object and data which is raw, inside the inside the double quotes, we can do that. Let's see what happens now. Actually, we can see that there is a the output is 5 and 6. We have printed a in the first line and printed b in the second line. So as I said, there is an end parameter inside the print function. So the end parameter for the default end parameter is that there is a backslash n. So it's the default is like this. if you don't mention the end parameter, the compiler takes the end parameter as the backslash n, and it will give the value as 5 and 6 in the next line. So you don't want 6 in the next line, but you want it like beside of 5. So we can change the end parameter to like space or something, or none. We'll do a space. Now we'll see that the parameter, b is like beside a. Before it was like the end was like the default condition is like backslash n. Now we have changed the parameter inside the function, so it's a different. So now I'm going to talk about like there is another parameter inside like print function which is important, that is separate. Generally we don't use these things like separator and everything, but we use end a lot actually, because like in C the thing is like, if you write a printf statement and mention a value, you'll directly then if you don't mention backslash n, the value will be directly printed aside beside of that. But here we have to change the manipulate the parameter to get the value beside it. In some coding competitions or everything, we have to we have to give the output as they want, like without any changes. So when you want the output beside of it, if you don't know how to do it, you may like it's gonna be a hell of a like thing. So let's now see like what happens here when I print it. Like we can actually, and we can print multiple objects at a time. Like right now, it's like 5 and 6. There will be a separator will be default to space here. So we'll change the separator thing to uh, tab, I guess, like backslash n. Let's see what happens now. You can see there is a gap inside because we have separated the objects right now. We have manipulated the parameter and everything. So the value is different. And again, let's see if you want to print a statement like we are learning Python. Today, and you want a value beside it. You want to write a value like 10 or 20 or something. We can directly print enter the value, and now it's like we are learning today one, that's like that. And same thing, like directly if you mention that, it's like raw data will be there, we are learning today and everything. This is with the print statement. There is nothing more with the print statement, I guess. We like the most important thing is a separator and parameters. And the file thing is like when you go through files in the Python, which won't be necessary actually. But for the basics of Python, we will be not going into the files concept. Like it's not so important for the language and everything. But if you are going for the mastery in the Python, you have to go through it. In this course, I guess the like files will be not included as it's not important for the basics and everything. So after this, I think everyone is clear with the print statement. Like, can I get a response in the chat? One of yes will be possible actually. Actually, and I heard that like someone has had a doubt about what is the value, what will be the value of like 5 by 2. Someone was saying 2, someone was saying 2.5 and everything. Actually it's 2.5, because in Python the division operator is like like the raw data will be a float. Whatever will be the data type, it will print it out. If you want 2 here, you have to mention like int of 2, then you'll get the int value there. Or else however the division operator will be, if it is a decimal, it will print out decimal. If it is like an integer, it will print out integer and everything. See, I've mentioned like this is the typecaster, I guess. Like someone were asking about of the typecasting also. Like we can manipulate the data here. Okay, we'll see if I can print directly a list. I'll take a list right now. 1 2 3 4 and 5. Let's see if we can directly print it out like this. Like See, we can like it applies to the same. It applies same to the all data types actually, a tuple, a dictionary, and everything actually. So it's simple to print it out. Like we don't have to worry a lot about this format specifiers and everything in Python. That's what like I was saying yesterday also. This like this Python, the syntax is very simple. Inbuilt functions are there and everything. So next thing is like we'll go through input statements actually. Yeah, we'll take user when it is input. Input means like we have to take user defined input from the users, like user defined. Okay, and not user defined, user inputs actually. So let's just the input function here is like in C it's like scanf. So here it's input, this input. Okay, and we can, if you want, when we can directly use the printf function as here. Like we in C we mention print enter the number and next we take the number, right? So like printf something and scanf we mention the like everything. So here the thing is like input. The input is like print function here. Input is like print and scanf actually. The data mentioned inside that brackets of like function of input will be displayed directly to the user. See, enter the number. Now I'm going to enter number 5. So okay, so let me print it actually. You'll get to know that the value is stored inside the variable. Sorry, print a. See, this the thing is very simple here. Normally, actually, it is too early now to say this, but there is no like character in Python. When like in C there is int, character, float, and everything, right? There is no character data type in Python. Most important thing actually, you can't just take a character like. So there is like string class. You'll learn about it more deeply when you go through the other sessions and future sessions. But there is a string class and this input function. We now here we can see that I've used the typecaster for int. So what if I don't use a caster for like where we don't use input? Let me enter a number. And we'll take an int value of input of enter a number. So we'll check. Like wait a second. We'll try to print out A first and then B, and we'll try to print A plus B. Enter a number. It's 5, and in the for the B value I'm entering 4. So see that like it is directly for like print A and the thing is like 4. But the thing is like when I have to mention like what is the data type of A, print of type of A. See, we can see that the A is not an integer. It's just it's a class of string, as I mentioned. Because let's see what is the type of B. Like type means the data type. Actually, people who don't know, we use like a inbuilt function for this to find what data type it is, what kind of data value is inside the variable. Let's see. I'm entering 5 and I'm entering 4. Like see, you can see that it is A is in string class and B is like integer class. So we have to mention the compiler that actually, so I'll be clear. Input is like input takes only strings. When you mention input, it takes a string value inside it. If you want to take an integer value, you have to mention like mention as like here int. That's the thing, the keyword for it. The like it's a function actually. Here typecast. It's not a keyword. It's a function. So it tells the compiler that an integer value has to be taken as an input, not a string value, because the default value for the input is like string. The same goes with the if you want to take an let's okay. if you want to take a float value as an input from the user, we have to mention float. That's it. Enter a float, and will print it directly. Print of a, like I'll mention 2.3, then the value will be 2.3. If I don't mention 2.3 here, also the value when you print a, it will be 2.3 only, but the type is string. You can't add the string directly to another integer. Like you'll get errors on that, because like there is a string class and int class. We can only add or multiply or anything arithmetic operation can be done when the objects are of same class only. Here That's why we have to know the type, what is the variable and everything. But when you see that when the compiler knows when it is like we directly mention a is equals to 5, we'll see what is the type. It isn't, without any doubt. Like the compiler knows when we give the compiler directly the data, like we are taking the user input. That's why we have to mention that the compiler what type of data we have to mention. And here we'll print uh, anything like coding. See, the class is string. So I think I'm clear with the input statement and everything. Any doubts like how to take any type of different data and everything? Would I'm seeing the comments, like if there is anything. A is equals to a, then which type is it? Because like it is nothing actually, because a is equals to a is nothing here, because if you want to take a string inside it, you have to mention it between a double quote, a single quote. Actually, when normally when we mention in C, when we compare the characters and everything, there is an importance of double quote and single quote. In Python there is no such thing. We can use double quote, a single quote, wherever we like. Actually, we're comparing it because there is no character. When we use single quote in C, it means that we are going to compare a character. But here it is nothing like that. C, like it is like string only. There is only string class. There is no character. That's it. So now I think everyone is clear. Are there any function like end and empty? Actually, I explained the thing when in the syntax end and like Vasant. In print function, there are parameters. They're not function. They are parameters. Like in the syntax. Let me just go through the PPT ones. There is thing like yeah. Okay. Okay. Hope you can see this. There's like separator and these are parameters for the print function. So we have to, if you don't mention them, they're like the default conditions will be stored, or else if you want to manipulate it, you can manipulate it as I showed before. How can we make a list or set values from the? Okay, if you want to make a list, okay. I hope the list concept was covered. Okay, let me see. You have to, when you wanna take your inputs for a list, like from the user, you need to know about for loop actually. uh, when you like, I'll just write a small program for like without the any, like let's see, for I in range of, I think range was covered also actually. Then 0 to 5, 0 to 3. Let's see. Okay. Okay. First of all, you have to initialize list, like here. There is an empty list, and I want to take like input. Like let's see, L dot append. We have to know about all this append function also. I think it was covered or not. I don't know actually. I was not there in the session then. I hope it was covered. L append of int of input. That's it. And we'll print the list at last if you like we want to know whether it is like we took the input or not. Okay, let me just like enter something. And if you don't enter anything, if you don't write anything, also it's fine. Uh, Enter, but it's like we have to know where to enter. Like when like it's a clear thing. Like see 1, 2, 3, like 1, 2, 3. I think it's clear, Akshay. After this, I'll just go through. Like I'll have to. I think I have to complete the session fastly. Let me just go through this. Someone was asking about if statements. Now I'm gonna cover now I'm gonna cover through if decision statements, like there if else, nested if else. Everything is simple. Like we have to add a statement more to proceed more. Like let's just see if a is equals to 4. We'll print something like 1. Okay, it works. Like the a is 5 and it is greater than 4. That's why it works. Let's see if it is less than 4. Does anything come out on the compiler? Like there is nothing, because there is no condition for this. There is no passes and everything. After this, like we'll see. This is if, and for this if we can add else, if else. Like if that condition is false, it will print the next one, print of 2. See, like this condition false, so it comes to the else and it prints 2. Okay. After that, let me just remove this if. We'll use multiple ifs actually. If what we'll see what happens if we use multiple ifs. I will write a call like is greater than 1 and something like 1 if is greater than 2 print 2. See what happens. See, like when we use multiple ifs, it will run multiple times. This is the difference between actually the like if statements and elif statements. When we use multiple ifs, because like we can use elif or multiple ifs, but when we use multiple ifs, like whenever the condition is true, it's gonna like print it out. Elif is like how many conditions might it be there. Like it will print out. It will carry the body when only like when like only one value will be printed. Like how many conditions will have, and it will be the first value. Let's see, a is less than 2, print something 2, and if a is less than 3, print of 3, and we'll see a is greater than 3, print 4. If a is greater than 4, print 5. We can see that the first condition here is like will remove this. A is not equal something. We'll write like this. We have to get this condition as false, because then only elif will run. We can see that it like this condition is false first of all. Then only it will come to this elif, and after that it will come to elif. This one, it is also false. After that it will come to this. A is greater than the 3. So it will check the condition. 5 is greater than 3. Yeah, it will print it out. We can see that a is also greater than 4, but it doesn't print the statement, because the first condition for the elif to satisfy is this one. It will not run the conditions below it. So let's add else also here. Print something like 6, like something, and we'll change these conditions also, like equal to. We have to make this false also. Let's see if else runs or not. Yeah, we can see that else runs now. Can we? Okay. You guys are so. What's the time actually? How much? How much? Okay, I think the time is up. These are the decision statements and everything. I haven't covered the nested if, but it's nested if is very like simple thing. When we write something inside, like we have written this print 1. uh, instead of that we can write another condition inside the the thing. If this is nested if, that's it. This is nested if. And if you want nested if else, you can just mention an else statement with the print. That's it. And you can mention it with else also. If you write inside the else also, the same thing happens. It's also called as nested if. uh, I hope I'm clear with the elif thing. If anyone has a doubt with the elif thing, we'll continue. Like if you when you attend the next session, you can clear it though. But okay, Karthik, okay.
Yeah. Anish,
Yeah.
I guess guys you are clear with the input and decision statements. And there is one more topic left with we need to left today, like loops. Due to the insufficient time, we are skipping that to next week. We'll plan. Actually, the session is taken by Vinita, the loop session. If the concepts of input and decision statements are clear, type yes in the chat box. Like Anisha has explained, like input and decision statements, each and everything, with live coding. And guys, this initiative is running in collaboration with Coding Ninjas. We are also planning to get some perks for the all the students who are going to do all the submissions or quiz works actively. They are going to get some perks along with the certificate, and try to maintain the same curiosity level, even if it feels like sometimes it feels like boring. Maintain the same curiosity even that times. uh, Anish, there is a question.
Yeah,
Would you
which
like
one? Okay.
to? Yeah.
If one is alif and other is else, both are correct. Correct them. It will print both statements are not. As I mentioned before, the thing is when you have an elif, it will enter the elif function only if the if statement is false. And how many elifs are there? It's required upon our condition and our logic and everything. Let's just say that if you have an if which is false, condition is false, and you have an elif which is true, and else doesn't matter if elif is true actually, because elif will be printed. It will not see the statements below it. If elif is also false, then we go to the else, or else the thing is like it will print the elif and the program will be end there.
Yeah, that's great. I
Any
think
other
all.
doubts, anyone,
If
with
you
the
have
print
any other doubts, you can put in the chat
statement,
box.
everything? You can just ask now. Decision statements also.
Guys, throughout today's session, if you have any doubts, you can ask us from the
Yeah,
starting
any doubts?
to the decision
uh, j-
statements.
we are at the introductory level, so don't
Just a
think
beginning.
that will be a normal doubt, like everyone will laugh at me and everything. Just go through the question and everything we'll explain.
And the thing we are teaching as expected, you are like we are reaching your expected ways. Like we want to make understand each coder and non-coders, like from the scratch. I think there are no questions from
This will all
audience.
be covered in your classrooms actually. We got this knowledge from our classrooms only. But the thing different here is that we are using the compiler at the same time. We are getting to know the errors at the same time. You have to go to the lab and try to execute on your own. But when we go to the lab and everything, you might not remember the concepts and everything at the same level. You have to check through the notes and everything. Some people don't write the notes like me. Like it will be hard. But now we can see the errors and everything. That's why this session is important for you guys. Okay, any doubts will be okay. To other colleges, let me see.
Sai Ganavarapu, the
Each and
certificate will
every
be provided to other colleges also. Whoever fills the attendance form for 6 days, they will be receiving the certificate.
And the certificate contains the coding ninja's logo too, like which will add value, much more value to the certificate. You can use it
And
anywhere.
I like, okay, if yes is
How
not
to print multiple
going to
variables.
work. Actually, the statement doesn't have any meaning, I think, because you're not comparing anything in the if you you mentioned it like if of a string, because your if statement is like decision statement is like you have to compare something, you have to mention a condition for it to work. It's like there is no comparison, so there is no value for it. How to print multiple variables in a single line by not writing symbol. Okay,
Multiple.
let me just present for a second. I think this was not clear.
Yeah, meanwhile, guys, after this session, you'll have some sort of small quiz. If you want to take it, it's just optional. You can take it on Instagram. There will be 10 questions. The 10 quizzes will be on the today's concepts. The question and answer will be on today's concepts, and take that quiz.
Karthik, when you can you please share my screen right now, like for the viewing?
Yeah, I'm sharing. I'm sharing already.
Someone asked about how to print multiple variables without using multiple print statements. Like it's simple, like use a comma and everything, you'll get the values. That's it. Any type of actually. When you it's encouraged if you when there are different type of data types, try using different type of multiple print statements, because we don't want our output to be like chaotic. We have to understand what our output, what we are working and everything. So for these variables and everything, it's fine, we can use the values like this. But if you are using a list or a tuple or a dictionary, just try to use multiple statements just a print. We don't have to write all the syntaxes also. So just don't you make the output chaotic for you to understand also.
Yeah. And the thing
And
is, try to attend the classes every week just for 90 minutes. And you don't need to like the video and you don't need to subscribe at all. Just consume the knowledge. Just it. Okay.
also,
Uh,
Karthik, the topic on loops will be covered in the next session. So at that time, I'll
Moderators,
explain
please.
you in detail about the indentation.
Manish,
The indentation is same for the same thing. Like we are like same for the decision
Manish,
statement. What we are
please
using, same goes for the loop also. Actually, Manish, can you take care of the YouTube comments? Actually,
Yeah,
comments.
I'm doing it.
They are spamming some.
They're already deleted.
And someone has asked, can you post the quiz on Telegram? Yes, we will do that.
Have you guys answered this question? What next after Python?
What?
What next after
What
Python?
next after Python?
We have game development,
and Flutter
Flutter,
Development
development.
and Flutter
HTML,
development.
So
That
as we
will be
have
covered
web
in,
mentioned,
development.
that will be
as
covered
we
in
have
phase two.
mentioned in the beginning, this is just the phase one, where we are teaching you the basic stuff like C programming and Python programming. In the phase two, we are going with some advanced topic like web development, Flutter development, and game development. Right? So stay tuned to our club.
So I think that's with the doubts and everything. If any more doubts, it's fine. You can post it in the comments,
In
or
the
else,
Telegram channel also, you
yeah,
can.
or in the Telegram also. I will be active there. Any doubts will be encouraged. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think we can call it off today. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you
So
guys. Thank you for joining and maintain the same curiosity as like today and maintain 90 minutes once in a week. And even if it's boring, I'm repeating it it's again, even if it's boring, you don't need to subscribe, you don't need to like it's the sessions by the students. We know how exactly we can understand. So consume the knowledge and do the fun with the code. And thank you for joining session. And I thank each and every mentor for teaching today concepts. Thank you all.
your feedback is also much valued here. So please
Yes.
do provide your feedback that is being
If the
mentioned in the attendance link so that we can improve our teaching style or we can change our teaching style according to how you need it.
yeah.
Thank you.